In Exploration 10.1, we learn about how to describe and summarize an association between two quantitative variables. So this exploration is about this question about whether dinner plates are getting larger, and they ask you to look at the two pictures here and decide whether you think it's the same amount of food on each plate or is one portion bigger than the other. And as they say, for a lot of people the portion on the right looks smaller, but that's only because the plate is bigger. And so there's a question about whether Americans are eating more and whether that could partly be due to the fact that, or whether, plates and bowls and things have gotten larger. So our research question here is, have dinner plates gotten larger over time? So these researchers gathered data on plates being sold on eBay, and it says they recorded the size and the year of manufacture for each distinct plate. So note to self, that tells us what our variables are: size and year of manufacture. So those are the two variables, and we have to decide which is explanatory and which is response. So remember, we can think of the response as dependent. So our question is, does the size depend on the year? Right? I mean, we haven't established that, but that's the question that we're asking. So that means size would be dependent, which is also known as the response. So that's just one of the ways you can try to figure out which variable is the response and which is the explanatory. Another way to think about it is that the year of manufacture might explain the size. Okay, that again is what we're trying to figure out. So the year that it's manufactured might explain the size. So that means the year would be the explanatory. And these are both quantitative variables, and that's something new in Chapter 10. So in Chapter 4, we started looking at two variables at once. In Chapter 10, both of those variables are going to be quantitative. Okay, so number 4 says, in your own words, explain what it would mean for there to be an association between the explanatory and response variables in this study. So in this case, we would say plate sizes would tend to either increase or decrease. Sorry about my dog. I don't think she's actually going to bark, but we'll see. And instead of saying over time, I'll make that more specific. As time increases, as years increase. Okay, so if there's a tendency for the size to either go up or go down, one or the other, as the years go up, then we would say there's an association. Okay, so the observational units are the plates that were sold on eBay on March 30th of 2010, and there are 20 of them. This would be an observational study because the years and the sizes were just collected and observed. In an experiment, there's assignment, random assignment to explanatory variable. If the experiment is done well, there's random assignment. So one way you can figure this kind of question out is, once you know what your explanatory variable is, in this case the year, did they randomly assign the plates to their years? And the answer is no. They found each plate on eBay and they just observed and collected, recorded the data of what the year was. They couldn't randomly assign the years to the plates. Okay, so again, both of the variables that we're looking at are quantitative. That's new in Chapter 10. And so the way we're going to summarize the data is going to be a little bit different than it has before. So step 3 in our process is to explore the data. So the data is here for 20. This is a subset of the original sample from the article that they were citing, from the research they cited, but there's a sample here of 20 plates. And for each plate we collected the year and the size, or the researchers did. So we want to paste that into the correlation and regression applet. So the data is in the Miss D's video lectures area of Blackboard. If you go into the Chapter 10 folder, you will see Exploration 10.1 data. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, if you're in our course in Blackboard and you go to Miss D's video lectures and go to the Chapter 10 folder, then you'll see Exploration 10.1 data. So you'll want to copy. Remember, you can do Control or Command A to select everything, and then Control or Command C, depending on if you have a PC or a Mac, to copy everything. And then you want to go to the applets and go to the correlation regression applet, and there's already some data in there, so you're going to click on clear and then put your cursor in there and paste. And then, as it says back on the exploration, don't forget to click use data, because until you click use data it won't change anything. And then you will see what's known as a scatter plot. So FYI, I have put a page in here that shows a screenshot of the scatter plot, but it's important for you to make sure that you can get this as well. So again, we're in the correlation and regression applet, and you can get to the applets either through Blackboard or by going to math.hope.edu/ISI and clicking on applets.